Nope, I'm too wide. I need to be tighter because I'm all the way at the end. So,
Yep.
so I'm going to take all of these and I'm going to move them in one tooth. So the spacing on these splines is 1.5 millimeters.
But sometimes it's difficult to
They-
know
they-
it's only 1, 2.
It's very difficult.
It's difficult, yeah.
It's very difficult. But the one tooth on all three jaws equals 1/8 inch.
Okay.
Okay, because each tooth is 1.5 millimeters, which is 60. Not, it's actually not quite 60 thousandths, but.
But it made difference.
And let's see where that clamps. Oh, yeah, I'm inside the window now.
Yep.
Here,
Looks like
let me see your
it's
phone. for just a
between our
second.
tongue.
Let me get this in. Oh, you're in, but if you go,
Yeah, I don't put very close because it's all.
oh, okay.
Here,
let me do this.
Take the photo.
And now,
Yeah,
see?
yeah. This is between and the.
And
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah. that's-
Before I was out here.
Yeah.
So that is what we want.
Okay. Perfect.
Anywhere
Understand.
inside there.
Yeah.
So that's how you set your chuck so that you're getting good clamping pressure.
Good.
Once that's done,
That is new for me too. I don't know that.
once that's done, we spin all of these in quick so that they're up close. Then we take our crescent wrench. You can use an M19 spindle lock, but it's not as effective on a machine that doesn't have a brake, and this machine doesn't have a brake.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see an Allen wrench about that much longer.
I do longer.
Yeah.
Maybe I had one, but
That's okay.
You wanna bring-
We'll get by with this. How much more time do you have while I'm running in trouble?
no. That's fine. That's fine. Whatever. I know. I don't have anything to do. Only here.
Okay. I want to get out of here in time to not be hung in all that traffic.
Yeah, and I was thinking is
I
that
mean,
you.
it's actually an hour and 40-minute drive without traffic. So
Yeah. What time is good for you?
I need to leave by 3.
Okay.
What time is it?
It's 2. It's almost 2.
Oh, okay. Well, then good. Then I'm
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. We have
I'm
time.
not in any trouble.
Yeah.
Do you have the grease gun? The Molly?
The what?
The grease gun.
Grease gun?
Grease.
Oh, the grease gun? Yeah,
Yeah.
I had the one.
Okay, so the grease that goes in these
Yeah.
is Molly, molybdenum Molly D.
Yeah.
That's that black ooey gooey crap.
Let me check it. I have this.
We don't have to do this. I want to make sure you let your students know that these greasers on this type of a chuck get 1 pump per day, every day.
Oh, really?
Yep, click, pump, done. In the small grease guns.
Yeah.
Okay. Now in education, it's not so critical because they don't get
Yeah,
anywhere
you
near
use
much
it.
use.
Mhm.
But if we teach them that when they get out in the field, they'll do that in the field, and then they don't wind up busting their machines.
Yeah, of course. Gotcha.
So now we have a part. We can do something with it. Okay, so now I've got my part loaded. I want to set a work offset.
Mm-hmm.
With the face of this chuck gone, these things slide back inside the face of the chuck.
Yeah.
That's what that cover does, is it keeps the face of the chuck there and keeps all the chips out of the mechanism.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna set it all the way back because I need a repeatable place. Now, I'm gonna make the spindle run. I'm gonna run it at 500 RPM. 500, override forward. We're moving. So we can see that I'm not crooked. Everything's nice and smooth, okay? So now I wanna find the front of that part. So my work offset currently is G54, that should be 0. That should always be 0. Because the x-axis is always the center of the part.
Okay.
This machine can't do anything else, so the x-axis is always 0, and the 0 is always the center.
In the center, yeah.
So the only one we can set is the Z.
And the
I
Z.
teach G54 only for this machine. You can use any of them, but I teach G54 only because it's always going to be a G54 work offset, single axis machine. It's always going to be in the same place.
Good.
So
Good to know that. Just-
Right. So now I'm going to bring my tool to where my part is. I don't know if your machine will allow this. It won't. Okay.
This is- yeah. it's
Yeah,
not-
it won't.
because it ruined the spindle.
There we go.
Right now. Yeah.
So we're going to jog it close. And now I want to watch my shadow, because my shadow will tell me when I'm going to meet my part. See that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to get up a little bit higher. I don't need to be all that way down.
Yeah, because the surface is no uniform. Do you see?
So now I'm touching.
I'm touching, yeah.
So now there are a couple of things we can do from that point. So the first thing is we've taken the dimension of that tool. We know where that is, right?
Yeah.
And we've touched it to the face of this part. That means we know where the face of that part is. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go offset, and I'm going to go to my Z axis, highlight the Z cell, I'm going to push Z face measure. My work offset is set.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Amazing. That's really easy.
It's really easy.
Yeah.
But you just have to know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, what is that?
Crazy. Yeah.
But that's all there is to it.
I watched the video. I never see that. It's so easy.
You know, the videos try to be, I think they get paid by the word. I don't know. They talk a lot
Yeah. And
about stuff that
no,
doesn't.
something helpful, but I tell you, they show these different machine, different things, and
So
not
the
working the
jog
same.
the jog function on these machines work. No, I stopped. I'm going to bump in on that. There's a nib on that. I don't want to get too. There we go. So now we have a true face on our part. Now, depending on how your program is written, that's not a good work offset. Okay, because if that was a rough part, and you set your part, and your part is written with the face of your part as 0, not actually back some, you're going to wind up with parts that aren't finished on the front.
yeah.
So to correct that, so see where we are? I've touched my X, right? I mean, I've touched my Z face. I'm clear in X, right? I'm going to select 10 thousandths jog rate, which I'm on. I'm going to select Z axis. I'm going to move 3 clicks. I'm going to move my tool 30 thousandths behind
The part.
the front of my part.
Okay,
1,
yeah.
2, 3. So now I've built in 30 thousandths of excess on the front of my part.
But you don't say that. You
Well,
only
sure you
move
do.
it that.
Sure you do. There you go.
Okay.
That's where, so now the beginning of your part is 30 thousandths behind the beginning of my metal,
Yeah.
so that I get a nice finished surface on the face of
Yeah,
it.
because right now this is your true face,
Right.
and for that you have this is like the compensation, like this.
There you go. Now, depends on who's writing the codes as to how the codes are coming out. If you're using Fusion, you can always put an offset in there and you don't have to do this. If you're scratch coding and you're writing 0 as the face of your part and everything behind that is negative, that's where this has to get used.
Good.
But so, and you can move these around all you want. If you do repetitive parts, or if you have several students that are working on the same on different projects in the same machine, you can assign student number 7 work off set 54, and student number 9 work off set 55, and student number 2 work off set 56. And that way as long as the tools don't change, the work offsets can be used by different people.
Good. Yeah, it's good to know that you can change all the projects. Yeah.
Stop, close the door. No automated movement happens with the door open, even when the key is turned off, and home. And then we take the material out, because we don't want to leave material in the chuck, because the chuck stays clamped. And there you go.
What is speed do you good? 500? 500?
500.
500?
I use 500. You can use a lot of speeds, but 500 is the maximum speed it'll let you turn with the door open.
Good.
So if you have it in maintenance mode or setup mode, you can run the spindle with the door open, and you can jog with the door open.
Yeah.
And I use that.
I know this before, but I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because but it's good to know this. Remind this. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is helpful because you need sometimes to show something and the student is running. But usually would say, no, this is closed for safety. You don't working with the door open.
With these machines in industry,
Yeah.
we do stuff. We don't run them, but we do stuff with the door open. It's part
Yeah.
of the job.
Yeah, but if it
I
isn't
know,
closed or
the-
if for safety
The
intents.
safety Nazis have all
Yeah.
their reasons. They don't understand. That's okay. We follow their. Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
When they close the door, we do what we need to do.
Yeah, but sometimes you need to see very well.
Sometimes you
what
have to.
happened. Yeah,
But we can't convince them.
And also, the specialty machine,
Yep.
because do you see this window?
Oh,
It's
yeah. Oh, yeah.
too small.
It's like looking at a microwave.
Yeah, I know.
And you got a whole class around here. Okay, guys, everybody look in here and watch this.
Do you see that? No, I can see it. Yeah. Yeah, but it's good to know. I had to remind this.
Okay, so these are your pressures, your hydraulic pressures.
Yeah.
This is your tail. This is your chuck, and this is your tail stock.
Yeah.
Your chuck should be up about 300,
Okay.
and your tail stock should be down around 100.
100, yeah.
Okay. You can use an Allen wrench and hold that still and set this in place and lock them to prevent people from messing with them. I don't know if people need. I don't know what skill sets you're dealing with.
No, here is all basic extensions, I think so.
Okay, so then I would probably snug those down so that people aren't monkeying with that. Because if if you don't have enough chuck pressure, and I don't know what you've got a 6,000 spindle in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want that chuck. You don't want that thing at 150 psi with a piece of metal in there at 6,000
No,
RPM.
no.
It'll come right out.
No, that's never happened here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so you don't want that.
Yeah. But it's good.
It's a good machine. It's been a real workhorse for us.
Yeah. This is something way to lock in this now.
Yeah, no secret. You just put an Allen wrench in that, and then this is a jam nut, and that becomes a lock nut.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
You send the key.
Yeah, you put an Allen key in there, and then turn that
Allen
down
key,
really
yeah.
snug, and give it a play, and you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty good. I'm surprised too easy is the word opposite for this.
It's okay.
So easy. That's
It really is.
yeah.
It really is. It's just like if you're doing a manual setup, you still use the Z-face measure. You know. But
Yeah. Okay, I had to take all these videos and write my notes,
There you go.
and yeah, and it's pretty good.